Hello, so I'm DigitalDuck, and this is Jumpin Jupiter. Sorry for all the tech issues we had earlier, but everything should be fine now, and we're just going to get onto it. So I'm just going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is Jumpin Jupiter. It's a Spectrum game released in 2020, which makes it probably the newest game on the oldest hardware we've got. It's a very simple Manic Miner clone. The goal is to simply play through the levels, do some basic platforming, there we go, collect all of the tea, collect the key, and go through the door. There's really no story. The basic story is that we are Jupiter, this girl here, and she's collecting tea in space. That's literally it. We don't need more of a story than that. There are a few interesting mechanics though, so obviously these flashing enemies, if we touch them, they will die. These weird platforms that have got like S's and Z's on them, or Z's if you prefer, are actually conveyor belts, and once you stand on them, you can't move in the opposite direction. They force you to walk in one direction, which is something you just need to bear in mind as you plan out the levels, but it's really not a big problem. If you want to go against them, you can just jump. So we have a green key, but it doesn't unlock the green doors. It actually unlocks these red things here. The green door is unlocked by collecting lots of tea. And the other
again. Fresh. Heck.
Looks like we're back.
okay. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but do we just want to carry on from where we are? I've paused the emulator. Should we just carry on from here?
So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's just carry on then. In 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm not sure. I don't think I've said anything of particularly note while we were out, but most of this game is just more of the same, but with continuing levels. One thing to note is that you do start on Mars. No, not on Mars, on the Moon, and you go through the planets through Mars, which we're currently on. The Jupiter, which is not the Jupiter in the title, because the girl is Jupiter, but it's another planet. Through to Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which is now being promoted. It's now a planet again, apparently. which is fine by me. So yeah, the levels, they are themed. I'm not really sure what much to say before we get into the Jupiter section, because that's where the interesting mechanics come through. But the way you play this game is you learn the route for each level, and then you just do it. There's no RNG involved. There's no real glitches to speak of. Well, there's a glitch here where the door is white instead of green because of the enemy that's moving in front of it. But other than that, there's nothing to speak of. So we're into Jupiter, and here we have some platforms here which appear and disappear as time goes on. That was a missed jump. That's not good. So I have to wait for the platforms to reappear again. Basically what you do is you route the level, you try and make it so when you need these platforms they're there, and when they're not, they're not. I'm kind of just winging it now because I missed my jump. So I'm hoping this will all go okay. And it has, that's fine. Right. So acid for blood. Here we have acid, which is much like the spikes. It's an instant killer. We've also got a platform here which can be a troll platform if you don't realise it's going to disappear. Because certainly the first time I played this level, I jumped up on the left, jumped across to the builders then, and as soon as I went to pick up the tea, the platform disappeared. And, well, I died just like that.
Let me just refresh it.
Okay.
There we go. It was maybe an internet connection issue. I don't know. Maybe your stream dropped for a quick second and it gets to that. But
okay.
All right, it's fine. This is a short run anyway. Let's just try and get through it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry about that. Like, we're running into some more technical issues. We're currently resolving the problems at hand. In the meantime, I'll just quickly want to mention, well, first of all, thank you everybody so far for the amazing $424 raised so far. You guys absolutely crushed all of our bit wars and incentives so far, and because of that, we have actually put in a few new incentives. You can check those out on our Tiltify page. But for example, We got Carry on Xmas %. We got the second part of the Fruitless cutscene in Astaria Ascending. And good job playing colorblind mode. So yeah, because you guys have been crushing it so hard with all the donations, we put in a few more incentives. And thanks for that, everybody. And yeah, check it out. Keep donating if you can. You generous, amazing people out there. And yeah, hopefully we can resolve these tech issues very, very soon. And we'll get to see the rest of Jumpin Jupiter. So hang back. friends. It's me again, Xoneris, your host speaking here. I'm still figuring stuff out. It looks like we're on a good course. It looks like we should be back with the run in just a moment. In the meantime, I just want to talk to you guys who might have just joined us that we are Indiethon. We're a 2-day speedrunning marathon focusing all around indie games. Also some very cool stuff like fan games and ROM hacks. Those will also be shown at this marathon. And we are raising money for Child's Play, which is a very cool charity. And we also a huge shout out to our two sponsors, Team 17 and Chucklefish, two indie game publishers. A lot of very cool games published by these two publishing studios, and we have some cool prizes also provided by said sponsors. For example, for a minimum donation of $2.50, you are in to win a copy of Starbound, a very, very cool game. For a minimum donation of $5, you are in to maybe win Inmost and Starbound. For $10, the medium game pack, you can win a copy of either Wargrove or Pathway. Both very, very lovely games. I actually played Wargrove myself. It's pretty cool. $20 gives you a chance to win the large game pack, which you'll be able to win Inmost, Starbound, Wargrove, and Pathway. All of these 4 games combined, which is an absolute steal in my book. And we got the Mega Games pack for a minimum donation of $30. You have a chance to win Blasphemous, Greyak, Memories of Azure, Narita Boy, Neon Abyss, Yokai Lily, The Impossible Lair. Those 5 games. 5 very awesome games at that, by the way, for just $30. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, some of these games I'm actually I want to play some of these games like Blasphemous and Greyak. They look pretty awesome. So yeah, if you want to have a chance winning any of these super, super amazing games, please get your donations in. And it looks like we fixed the tech issues, so hang back. We should be back with Jumpin Jupiter and DigitalDuck in just a second. So yeah. Looks like we're back. Or maybe not. Or maybe not.
Okay, what's happening there?
Looks like it's a little bit flickering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure if people can hear us.
Apparently we've got double audio as well. Stable now?
Alright, we should be live right now.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
better.
Okay.
It looks better now.
Okay. Sorry for all of the tech issues, everyone. I really don't know what's happening. Let's just get through this. and I'll be out of your way as quickly as possible. So we're going to resume in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so where are we on our journey so far? This is going to be the longest 20 minutes ever. We've come through the Moon and Mars, and we're on Jupiter. So we're continuing our quest, picking up tea and going through doors. This is the issue. If we had a more exciting story to have in the in the run with all the tech issues, that would be nice. But for now, we're going to sit and we're going to wait for these platforms, because a common theme with the late levels, it looks like we've lost picture again, is that we're waiting for these platforms to appear and disappear. They are on a global timer. So basically, when they're not there, we can't jump across. And if I time it right, I did not time that right. Okay, we'll take it a bit easier. So basically, if you time it right, but normally what you do is you get to the end of that conveyor belt just as the platform appears, and so you can just jump across straight away. No need to wait for anything. But I messed it up, so we're going to take it a bit slower this time. And make sure that the platform's there when we get there. So it should be now, because it'll appear before we even get close. There we go. Right, on to the next level. Knights in White Saturn. So we've finally made it to Saturn. And we start off with a fairly straightforward, easy level. Nothing of note apart from the toilet. The toilet is a very iconic part of Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy. Essentially, it's kind of like the running joke for the game. And so this game pays reference to it by having a toilet as an enemy. It's never explained why there are toilets on Saturn. I assume people who live on Saturn have to go sometimes as well. But yeah, if we just get through there on time, we can skip a cycle. And here the main challenge is avoiding these enemies on the conveyor belts. They don't move very far. I've somehow managed to clip through the ground there. That's interesting. And that was not how you jump onto them. You can't actually jump over them. You have to be on top of these platforms, these collapsing platforms, to get past them. So you basically have to jump onto the platform and you time it right to get over the top of them. And that will sort it out. So here's our first annoying mechanic. We have invisible platforms on this level, and for a few other levels, we'll also have them. The first one's fairly easy. Basically, the platforms are wherever there's an item. In other cases, they'll be generally fine, but you'll just get caught out by a platform that's there and you don't realize. Avoid the toilets as always. Going to let that pass before we drop down. Belunking Uranus. That's I'll let you make your own jokes about that one. But yeah, we've made it to Uranus, or Uranus, however you feel like pronouncing it. And once again, we're doing the same thing we've been doing the whole time. We're just doing it quickly. So here's another level with invisible platforms. If you look where the spikes are, or rather where they're not, wherever they're not, there are platforms across the middle. And there's actually 3 rows of them. There's some at ground level, there's some slightly above ground level, and there's some at this top level as well. On top of that, there's also one above the slinky that you saw me standing on. So Sisyphus Smiling is one of the harder levels. Okay, it's not hard because of that. It's just me being stupid. It's one of the harder levels in the game because you can't actually get across these gaps very easily while the platform's not there. So you usually have to wait for the platform. and then just wait another cycle. It looks like you should be able to just jump and land in the gap, but you won't land in the gap. You will land. You'll catch the corner, you'll stop moving briefly, and then you'll fall again and land in the spikes. And I don't recommend landing in the spikes. It hurts. It hurts a lot. And again, we also have the issue of the bats turning the platforms white. I can give a technical explanation for this. The Spectrum, being a very cheap microcomputer from the early 80s, can only actually have 2 colors in any 8x8 cell at the same time. So what happens is when another enemy comes along, it overwrites that color, and instead of the color being set back, I swear I did not touch that bat at all. Instead of the color being set back, when it passes over, the engine decides that it just needs to be white. And so you end up with these cups of tea turning white, you end up with the doors turning white when the enemies pass over the door. It could probably be fixed. You could have an extra check. We've missed a cycle on these little platforms here, so we're just going to wait for them to come back. Here we go. We don't need the platforms to be there to get to the door. We can just drop into it. Onto Blurkatron. Now this one doesn't look like it, but there are actually invisible platforms here. There's one at the very foot of the W. And I believe there's another one at the top somewhere as well. But I don't remember where. Either way, I don't know why they're there, because you don't need them at all. On to Neptune it out. We're finally at Neptune. And at this point, for some reason, all of the interesting mechanics we've seen so far kind of just disappear, and we go to very basic levels. They are difficult, but they stop being unique. So it's just a case of play good and don't mess up. And I'm not doing so good at that so far. So you can't jump over this enemy. It's just too high. So we have to wait for it to go past, and then we'll drop down behind it. Like that. And we have to jump on this conveyor belt because the conveyor belt is pushing us the other way. But that's not a big problem. Again, we're waiting for the platforms to come back. That was another stupid death, and we're down to, we've only got one more mistake we can make. I believe there's still another 9 levels, so it's not ideal. I should point out that I really did not practice this before I played through it once last week to check that I still knew how to play the game. I was like, yeah, this is fine. This is going to be fun. I'm not going to need to practice. And yeah, I'm almost down to my last life. So this could be interesting. So the trick to this one is to go up and to the left first. If you go up to the right first, you just have to make 2 trips across the level instead of 1. Other than that, very straightforward. the platform. There we go. That's another one that trolls. By the way, again, the first time I played through this level, that platform disappeared just as I jumped on it, and yeah, acid death. So I'm not sure what these enemies are supposed to be. If you've got any ideas, feel free to let me know. They're kind of just like a weird balloon with propellers. Right, onto Pluto. This one's called Pluto's Hearts because there's two hearts in the platforms and in the T. And yet, the fact that we're at Pluto means we're almost at the end, and that can be a sigh of relief to everyone on tech, as well as everyone watching, that you'll finally be rid of me, right? So as I said before, once you get to the later levels, really it's just stops having any real mechanics whatsoever and just gets to regular levels for some reason. I don't know why it does this. It's just like, yeah, have some platforming. Super Retroid. Now, you might think this is a reference to Metroid, Super Metroid. It's not. It's actually a reference to one of the developers. I forget it's of the game itself or of the engine or something related to this game. Calls themselves Super Retroid. I mean, I assume they call themselves that because of Metroid, but we may never know. So yeah, I'm gonna give a few quick shout outs to the Speedroom Spec Running Discord. I basically run it, but if you're interested in any games on the Spectrum, including this one or any of the better ones, you'll find lots of information there. There's a great community. Check it out. Find the SRC page for this game. You'll find it in the Discord link. We're going to end on time as soon as we hit this door. And that's time. Well done. Put the kettle on. The human race can rest easy knowing all tea is safe. We've saved the galaxy, the solar system's supply of tea. That's it. That's all you get. And that. Yeah, right.
Awesome. Thanks for the run. GG's. Before we go, though, I want to read a quick donation that I've been waiting kind of the entire run. So we got $20 here from Bauglor, I think, saying, if you want to go quackly, then a duck is what you need. Thank you very much for that donation.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll jump into a quick intermission, and when we're back, we'll get to see one of my favorite indie games of all time, The Messenger. So please stay tuned, everybody.